Hey, how's it going, guys? Today I wanted to look at NOvavax, or NVAX. It's in a serious pattern right now, and it's looking amazing. I wish I could have got this video out the other day. I saw it gearing up, and it actually did like a nice dump here, if you see this red candle. And it actually came down to the bottom of my trend line where I bought in, and it dipped a little bit lower. I got a little nervous that we were going to be having a fake breakdown, or a real breakdown rather. So I set my stop loss at $175, I set my stop loss at $75. Where I bought in was at around $79 or $78, and then I ended up picking up another one when I saw it bouncing at 77-ish. I did take a risky play by setting my buy order right at the bottom of the trend line rather than actually waiting for a confirmation. But I was just so excited about this, and you're not supposed to let emotion get in your way, but unfortunately I did, and it paid off, thankfully. But like I said, I had my stop loss set anyway. So let's take a look at what's going on here. So as you see, we are moving up on this 20 EMA on the 4-hour. We've had a lot of touches on this line here, so it is a little scary because it already looks like it's trying to double touch it, which it could turn into a double top, come down to the bottom of the trend line one more time. But we're getting resistance here on the 50 EMA. We've touched it twice already today. I was waiting for a breakout. As you see, that support would be right around 94.84. And then we have the 100 EMA after that at 99 something, and then the 200 at 111, and then we have that green box there at the top, which was support in the past, which will now turn to resistance at 111. Now, if this is going to be the breakout here, and we take a trend line from the breakout point, which is right here, this is a monstrous move. We're looking at it to move upwards of $184. Now, this isn't something that's going to happen all in one day, of course. It's going to take time and stair step up. Now, if we wanted to look at this like a bull flag, we would take a measurement from the flagpole, and the top of that is looking up at $219. So obviously we had a peak in the past, and it was right around that $188, which is kind of cool to see. On my RSI, on my lines I have drawn in here, we have seen a breakout. We dumped back down instantly, and now we're coming back up. Now we're having a really hard time catching support on this trend line. So I would like to see it come back down and touch it. So I'm going to be watching for that on the 4-hour, of course. If we take a look at the daily here, we have the moving averages pretty close together between the 20 and the... Now, as you see, the daily is at 91.50. Now, after the markets closed, we did actually have a little drop around to the 91.50 area, a little bit lower. Now, this volume coming in is great, but on the daily RSI here, we are still getting resistance on this trend line, even though it's showing on the smaller time frames that we broke out of it. We are getting some major support on that, resistance on that daily. So, I keep feeling like I want to see it come back down one more time and test this bottom at 78.69. But the problem is that if we take a look at the week, this is the 4-hourly, well, on the weekly chart, we're so close to the end of the pattern that it seems like it needs to be breaking out fairly soon. So if we look at the hourly, I've been playing this since the bottom. As you see, it turned into a bull flag, and it broke up, and then it turned into another bull flag. Is it going to break up from here, or is it going to break down? That's kind of where we're at right now. We could stair step up doing bull flags over and over, giving a little time for consolidation and the RSI to stay low. We are stair stepping right now, and we do look like we have a bullish cross coming in the hourly. That was the first bull flag. We broke up out of that. Now, it is showing on the 1 hourly that we are catching support on this trend line. But as you saw in the daily, we're not. So I'm not too sure what's going on here. If we're riding on the top of this trend line and this is our confirmation here, or if we're still needing to break out. I'm a little confused on that anyway. But if you look at this as a bull flag here, this last dip we had at the end before closing was another retest of that bottom. So if we are going to stay in this, we'd have to be above 91.30, 91.50, hopefully on opening. And a breakout target of that is $103. So that could be our first move out. Now, as you see on the hourly, our RSI is kind of up a little bit high, but it's not too bad. We are catching support at the moment, but this could turn into a head and shoulders pattern potentially. Could break out from here, or we could get a little double bottom or consolidation. So if we take a look at it like a consolidation, this is kind of that second bull flag there. And we're kind of trending in between, using it as support. And this here was the first bull flag that we broke out of. So my wonder is, are we going to come back down and retest the last bull flag for support, since we didn't come down and confirm that? Or are we going to break up from here and continue up? That's what we're going to have to watch out for here. Now, if we were to come down and test that bottom area, then we could have a break up and out. And that might be what we need. But the risk of doing that, we'd have to come down to around $83. Now, I'm not seeing anything in the chart telling me that it's going to come down that way. But the only thing is that we've been trying to break out of this thing for a while. And we're having a really hard time catching support. So there is still potential of that. So, I mean, if I was going to make a play on this, I would probably wait for a breakout above the $96 level before getting in. On the 30-minute EMA there is at 89.50. So we could come down to that and test that and then shoot back up. That is still in the realm of possibility. But the breakdown of this bull flag would probably bring us a little lower. So the smaller time frames definitely show that we have some more consolidating to do. But when you look at the weekly here, we're at the end of this triangle here. I mean, we could potentially wait till November 16th. But usually when you wait that long in a pattern like this, it's usually going to the downside. Now, the fact that we haven't got much confirmed volume on this weekly or anything like that, it is a little concerning. Is this going to be a little fake out? Or are we going to come up and test the weekly 20 EMA? That looks like that could be around $111 or so. 125 maybe. That's kind of our resistance from the past. Of course, the past doesn't, relay future results, but it is always good to look left and figure out, support and resistance where it was in the past. This kind of looks like it could potentially turn into some type of inverse head and shoulders if we want to look in the bullish side here. I could see this right part we're trying to make here into a shoulder. This would be the head here. This right would turn into the shoulder, maybe double bottom there on the weekly. I mean, that would bring us up to maybe $125. Then we'd come back down, retest our line of support where we broke out of, and then blast off into the 188. I mean, this isn't going to happen overnight. You can't do that. This isn't Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin can do some crazy shit overnight, but stocks, they're not going to move like that. You're going to have plenty of times for that to come back and retest and all that. So I'm kind of watching this thing like a hawk. I mean, like I said, I entered early. So I'm trying to talk to you guys like if I was going to enter this thing, seeing what's going on. Now, I wouldn't want to FOMO in on it just to get a good position potentially, unless you want to take a risk, and you'd have to have a stop loss pretty low. your stop loss would have to be around $76, $75. So that's not really worth the chance there, depending on how many shares you're getting. I mean, unless you want to take that risk that you're going to lose $10 versus making, at least $30, $40, $50. I mean, that could be a risk if you're just buying one share. That's up to you what you want to do. You'd have to figure that out on your own. This isn't financial advice. So let's take a fib retracement real quick from the swing low to the swing high here. So as you see, the 0.7786 is at $163. And as you see, we have wicked up there in the past. That's kind of been a normal spot for it to sell off. So it's possible that we could try to find support here and consolidate a little bit, create another bull flag here. Or we could double top on it, have massive sell-off, come back down, retest it early. I mean, this is all speculation at this point because we don't know what's going to happen. If it's going to come up, create a head and shoulders, and then create a W and blast off to the next level? Or are we going to just consolidate and shoot up to the next level like we've kind of been doing? I mean, looking at the 4-hourly on the RSI, like I said, it does look like it could turn into a little M there. But as far as like how high we've come on the RSI and got resistance, we still have some room to go up for sure. I mean, we're still down here. We're pretty weak still. I'd like to see it break this first line here, which would be that resistance, probably $96. Once you blast through that and confirm support there, we might be off to the races. But I mean, it's kind of a scary thing because the breakdown of this could go pretty low, and this thing was a $3 stock or something like that at one point. So it's not out of the question potentially. But that's why I'm saying you definitely have to put that stop loss at $75 at least. I mean, that would be your bet, unless you, of course, buy the breakout. Well, if you buy the breakout, you have to watch for confirmation. You have to watch for breakout volume, all that. I mean, there's plenty of things that can happen here. I'm just kind of screwing around, but we don't know until it happens. But this thing is definitely testing this, and it wants to be out of here. It's just the sellers are coming in a little bit and selling these fake pumps out of this pattern, and that's mainly because it's tested this and crashed a few times. So, I mean, you could play it really safe and wait for support on the 163 level since we've been rejected there a few times, or wait for some kind of consolidation powder up in that area and then make a play. So, I mean, this is you have to do your own trading, your own analysis here and figure out what you'd want to do. But I'm saying that this thing looks like it's gearing up and ready to go. There's a few warning signs here, like I said, the sell volume on the weekly, but for the most part, I mean, I'm going to make this play, and I mean, I might take some profits around the 618, $120 level, but other than that, I mean, I'm going to try to do some long-term holds to the 188 and use my strong hands here. All right, guys, I hope you like this shit. Take care.